This is a really great day. There have been at least two or three really great days for this exact property, which is rare. Rich was sort of saying it's nice to have two openings. We had one groundbreaking, we had two openings. Barry, you may have other stuff planned, so who knows? But it's great. We want to celebrate this particular accomplishment as many times as we can, and the wonderful thing that has been created here, this building and this community and the work that's being done here. So I'm Doug Shoemaker. I'm the president of Mercy Housing California. I want to welcome everyone today. We have a wonderful set of speakers. I'm sure everyone's going to be incredibly pithy in their remarks, so you won't be here more than an hour and a half. And afterwards, we have a short lunch buffet for folks and a tour. But we're here to celebrate, today we're here to celebrate the opening of 90 wonderful affordable homes for seniors. We're also here to celebrate an unbelievable and fantastic partnership that Mercy has had with St. Anthony's Foundation. We've had the privilege to partner with them on this project and others, and this was really their idea. And we were lucky enough to be invited along from the ride, and it's been a fantastic trip, and we're really happy with the outcome. So as you probably know, the downstairs of this building has got the new St. Anthony's dining room, a new social work center, and a free clothing program, and that's from the lower level through the second floor. And on top, and what we call an air rights, we built on top of that, and we were able to build 90 units of affordable housing on floors 3 through 10. And we've got this just, all right. That wasn't even one of my applause lines. I gotta, all right, but I'm happy we're there. So there, as is always the case with these buildings, so many people were involved. I'm going to do my best to try and thank everyone. If for some reason I leave your name out today, I just want to say, for everyone who helped make this possible, we greatly appreciate it. We're thrilled that we're having this opportunity. The other really special thing about this building is that we had the opportunity to name it after a really wonderful champion of so many issues in this community around seniors, around immigrants, all of the things that I think make San Francisco so special, and that's Vera Haile. Her daughters are here today. We're going to hear a little bit from them later on in the program. But this building is named after her because she was such a champion for the things that we believe in and care about. So that's an applause line. We can get that. All right. So again, there are a lot of different speakers here today. I'm going to start thanking people as we go so that I won't tire anybody out too quickly. I'll just put it in. I do want to start by just thanking the folks from the St. Anthony Foundation: Barry Stanger, Paula Lewis, Tracy Lewis, Juliana Grenzbach, and Linda Pasquincini. I hope I didn't screw that up too much. Pasquinici. Okay, I screwed that up. But in any event, I mean, I sincerely mean it. This has been an opportunity that St. Anthony's extended to Mercy. We've got a tremendous relationship between our two organizations. In fact, we share a board member, Suzanne Swift, who's somewhere here, and her husband, Brian Swift, who really have helped, I think, cement this relationship. And it means a lot to us that we've had this opportunity. The other incredible partnership is obviously whenever anything of this magnitude gets done in San Francisco, it's because of the incredible partnership of the public sector. In San Francisco, we have a city government that really knows how to get things done, notwithstanding all the complaints that people have about government in general. I think when it comes to affordable housing, you just cannot find a better set of partners than the San Francisco city government, whether that's the Mayor's Office of Housing or the former redevelopment agency. We just have a tremendous set of partners. We'll talk more about them in a second, but I do want to I can't see her, but I want to bring up, there you are, okay. Probably the fiercest champion I could think of for affordable housing in this city. I always think it's a little bit awe-inspiring when your elected official is actually more fierce of an advocate for affordable housing than your nonprofit housing organizations are. She's just an incredible champion. She's been pushing this issue since before she was a supervisor, and she's been a huge champion since she became a supervisor. And with that, I give you our supervisor, Jane Kim.
Doug failed to mention that I come out of the school of Doug Shoemaker and Gordon Chin and Norman Fong and Choo Choo. So I have been well trained way before I came into office to represent this district. And these are the best days, the days when we get to do the ribbon cutting for much needed affordable housing for our residents here in San Francisco. And I just want to give a big round of applause both to the City Mayor's Office of Housing, Mercy, and St. Anthony's for making this possible today. There have been a lot of events on the site, and when I started my office, it was really great to come to the groundbreaking when Barry invited all of us for both the St. Anthony's new dining hall and their new office space and services, but also the 90 units of affordable housing for seniors here in this neighborhood above, which was so aptly named after Vera Haile. But waiting for the buildings to come up, that's a lot of impatience. I would walk up and down this block, and I couldn't wait for this day to happen. And now that it's here, it's just really phenomenal to see how this building is a part of really changing the future of the Tenderloin. It's anchored with 201 Turk and 111 Taylor on the other side, all affordable housing. We have Demirilac and St. Boniface Church and the Gubbio Project, one of our most compassionate churches here in San Francisco that provide places for people on the street to sleep in the mornings and during the days. And of course, soon we're going to be able to go to the ribbon cutting that used to be one of our most problematic liquor stores in the neighborhood, Big Boy Liquor, for those of you who walk up and down the street. It is now closed, and we are going to, that alone deserves, thank our Tenderloin captain. He was definitely a part of that. And it's going to be 826 Valencia. One of our most problematic liquor stores is going to turn into a youth writing program for our young people here in the neighborhood with Dave Eggers. But we're here to talk about Vera Haile and the housing that's here today. And I just have to say a couple of things about Vera. I was very fortunate to come into office as Vera continued her activism and leadership for our community. I know there are many people here in this room that were mentored by Vera that are here today. And Vera was that fierce moral compass for City Hall. She would come into your office, and she never swayed from what was right, fighting for our most low income, for our seniors, for everyone that needed a voice. Vera was tireless. And in fact, when I got the news of her passing, I thought, I just saw Vera yesterday advocating for something in my office. And I think we all had that experience up until her very last day. She was fighting for this community. And she really summed it up in an interview that she did with Gary Kaplan back in 2009. It was part of the StoryCorps project. And in the interview, you really get a sense of Vera's spirit of persistent optimism and her drive to affect change. She said, when she talked in her interview, she said, "Why can't things change?" And it's a very simple statement, but it's an important one to carry every day, because I think many of us can get kind of stuck in what is reality, what is possible and what is not. But Vera was always pushing the boundaries of what was possible. And in that sentence, why things can't change, is a question that she held every day, and she fought to make sure the answer to that question was yes. So I just want to congratulate again the folks that make this possible. Again, Doug Shoemaker, of course, from Mercy Housing. I know Sharon Christensen and Barbara Glocklow really personally made sure every day that this project was a reality, so thank you. Of course, to Barry Stanger for having the vision with the St. Anthony's Foundation and board and staff to really envision much more than just a dining hall, but one that was going to be a place for folks to find employment, access to tech, clothes, nutrition, and housing. A really full wraparound approach to how to make this neighborhood healthier, stronger, and safer. And I'm sure Doug will thank everyone from the city side, but there's so many folks that made this also possible from the city. Of course, Olson Lee from the Mayor's Office of Housing. I see Joyce Crum here from Human Services Agency, and I know DPH helped to house many of the units here. Margot Antonetti, thank you so much for all of your work to make sure that this is at capacity today. And I look forward to seeing all the units and meeting all the residents whose lives will be transformed by the building that's here on Golden Gate. Thank you.
So it's true that there are an unbelievable number of people to thank from our city side. Margot and Wolfgang and the team from Housing and Urban Health our partners with us, not just here, but on many other projects, are huge partners for Mercy Housing. The folks from the Mayor's Office of Housing, I've got a long list. Ann Romero, Teresa Yonga, Olson Lee, Marv Rance, Georgia Martin, Enrique actually from Housing and Urban Health, Maria Benjamin, Brooke Barber, and Eugene Flannery. I'm sure there are many others, but we want to thank you for everything that you did to make this possible. So we're officially 10% through the thank yous. Just in case there's one of those charts at home. So the other really great partner for us on this project is the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, also known as HUD. For many, many years, HUD has been the key partner for producing senior housing, particularly for seniors on fixed incomes. It's really kind of, in some ways, a sad watershed moment because this is probably one of the last of what we call the HUD 202 projects that we know of that will be funded in Northern California because for whatever reason, in the wisdom of our national government, they've stopped funding this incredible program that provides the subsidies to help fixed income seniors live in beautiful spots like this. So hopefully that will change someday. If not, we are here to celebrate really a tremendous achievement in that regard, and we could not have done it without the team from HUD. And to sort of say a little bit more about that is Larry Ferguson, who's production chief, and our kids go to school together here in San Francisco, and he's been a long-time champion of affordable housing. Larry?
Thank you, Doug. You guys hear me okay? Yeah, before I get going, I want to just say on a personal note that I'm very honored and humbled to be here. Thanks again, Doug. Home is where the heart is. Home is where the heart is. I'm not going to talk much about HUD's nearly $13 million in Section 202 capital financing. That's the sticks and bricks financing going to this affordable senior housing. I won't dwell on the project rental assistance that HUD is going to be providing to keep these beautiful apartments affordable to our very low-income seniors. I'm not going to emphasize the hard-working contractors who put their hearts into this development and the stimulus to all levels of our economy that this project has provided so far. I won't go long about the green and sustainable features of this state-of-the-art design. And I won't dwell on the fact that this is one of HUD's last Section 202 supportive housing capital projects that will be coming online for the foreseeable future. But I will identify the HUD staff who've worked with our many other partners to make this project a reality. These HUD staff put their hearts into this. And I'd like to point out the HUD folks. If you get your name called, please raise your hand. Bill Rogina. Alamdar Arastu, Jane Chang, Flo Campett, Cindy Tsai, Jim Myers, and our esteemed HUD counsel, G. Lee, Daryl Mutton, Kim Nash. And I especially will speak to our seniors because they're why we're truly here. Our seniors will call this place home. And I say home because what's being created here isn't just simply apartments or housing. These are homes. You see, this concept of a home transcends simply having a roof over your head. And our seniors will live independently in their new homes as long as they are able, with dignity and with access to a full range of supportive services. In fact, the homes created at the Vera Haile Senior Community are a measure of our nation's heart, our nation's love, and our nation's respect for our seniors. Home is where the heart is. Thank you.
Thanks, Larry, and thank you for thanking the HUD staff. I too want to just thank all the HUD staff that have been a huge part of not just this project, but the many projects we've done together. And I'm sure we'll find a way to keep working together regardless of what happens with federal appropriations. I know the will is there, and we're going to make it happen. So with that, I want to introduce someone who really needs no introduction. He, I think along with Supervisor Kim, the two of them are incredibly committed to making this city more affordable and a city for all, as the mayor likes to say. He has been a champion of affordable housing for many, many years, has worked in this field both as a practitioner and now as an elected official and a policymaker. He is somebody who I think has made it very clear that this is a huge priority for him, not just in this term, but in his campaign. And with that, I want to introduce to you Mayor Ed Lee.
Thank you, Doug. Doug, in many ways, this is an honor of you and certainly of our wonderful combination between you and St. Anthony's. I want to be here today because I've known Vera Haile, but I want to also say thank you to Jane Kim too, because we both continue this record pace of cutting ribbons, of opening doors of opportunity, and of praising our developers, our nonprofits, our service providers in this community. And it wasn't long ago that St. Anthony's opened their brand new kitchen, but more than a kitchen, their entire services, a whole floor was being created, along with a brand new food center in this neighborhood. And we pointed at that time when we opened it, we already pointed to this housing site as being the exciting one that I wanted to get to as soon as it was ready to open. Well, I understand that the qualifications that you have to be at least 62 years old. Well, I'm 62 this year. And I joined the ranks of other seniors that have wanted to make sure our city was welcome to everybody. This is such an incredible center. Over 90 brand new units in the heart of one of the most challenging areas of our city. I know Supervisor Kim knows that because we've been at so many openings where time and time again the needs are identified, and this city now with its strong economic foundation can do a lot more help. And we can combine more and more. I mean, this incredible combination of the St. Anthony's and also Mercy Housing. You could always expect, if they got together, that they would produce quality, LEED certified type of good housing for our seniors that would, as Larry said earlier, represent the respect that is deserved. And this is just this particular project. We already have in sights in the next few weeks the opening of another senior housing site in the Bayview, then yet another one soon in Western Addition, all appropriately named as well. But I wanted to be here personally too because I have known and worked with Vera for over 30 years. When I went to the Asian Law Caucus and I first began as a civil rights attorney, she was a deputy at Self-Help for the Elderly, and I know Annie is here today in her honor. I know all the senior housing and senior service officials are here from Japantown, from our own region in our district, people who have worked with Vera over many, many decades. And it's unquestionable that she was dedicated. I want to be here in praise, and I hope her daughters know that maybe my name was mentioned in the household. I don't know. But Vera and I go back a long ways, and the first was when she asked me to make sure we were paying attention to evictions and to food and health and housing were all part of her entire life for over 30 years. And when we placed her yet again on the Immigrant Rights Commission, it was all about civic engagement. It's about continuing her talent. She was such a strong advocate for immigration. In fact, just last year, she joined me to make sure I got out to New York and joined the other mayors to talk about immigration, that she was there continuing to advocate. And of course, there were even those times where she was bringing the air tank with her, and she would still come out and advocate and be part of. She'd never wanted to miss a beat. And so I wanted to be here to praise her and to let you know that one of the reasons that drives me so openly supportive of housing is because of people like her. She constantly will be in my memory. She will always be reminding me, never forget the movement that we started many, many decades ago about both housing and seniors and immigration and advocacy for the poor, that's been her mantra, and I want to honor her with every single day that I occupy this wonderful office of Mayor of San Francisco, because it's her DNA that should be with me in everything that we do. She's also, I think, the name of this in the for the senior housing, but also the entities that were put together for this. I'm looking at Bob Nibby right now, because I think Nibby Brothers is also, they got their DNA in this and other housing projects throughout the city. We're going to do more. In fact, and this is what I know Vera will say, Mayor Lee, you got to do more. I already am planning to put more in the budget. I know last year's budget, I think Vera and Annie and others said, you got to deal with food security, Mayor. Seniors are having a hard enough time, and it can't just be the food centers. You got to also make sure that they're better endowed. And so we put some serious money into food security for our seniors in particular, because costs were going up dramatically. A plate of healthy food used to be $1.50, and people can get that very easily. Now they're $4 or $5, not affordable. And so we had to do food security. We had to make sure the services were all there. Housing is an incredible part of that. But all to say that everybody in this city is stepping up with our affordability agenda, our shared prosperity agenda. I don't want to miss an opportunity where we can identify sites like this, put together the kind of talent that's already been demonstrated here, build buildings, but rehab them as well. As much as we're building, I don't want to be building just to replace lost housing. We need net gain. And so we're rehabbing housing as well. And that's where HUD has come in big time. They supported our RAD program. That's going to authorize some 6,000 units to be rehabbed in the entire city while we try to build and gain some additional housing. And of course, I need not remind this crowd that there is a population that's getting more senior as time comes. And with the affordability of the city becoming more and more out of reach, and we're doing something about that, I've got to get to an aggressive housing agenda. I hope all of you are not just here to celebrate this, but join me this November when we pass a housing bond to make sure we continue this road on aggressive building of housing that's affordable to everybody. We're not just going to do that. I'm going to add value to that. I've asked all of the developers in the city to join me and do a call. I didn't even ask them for money. I should have. What I asked them was something I knew they could do. I wanted them to call each of their banks, the institutions that fund their market rate housing, because they know they got investor confidence there, and I asked them to make one call. And that call was tell the banks to call Mayor Lee and give him your best below market rate product that you have, so that we can create an accelerator fund, so that when we announce that we've got a project in hand, we can accelerate that ability. HUD likes to see that. They love all of our choice neighborhoods and our promised neighborhoods to accelerate all these projects. Of course, it's partly getting credit for where their money is at, but right now, our hustle is because people need it. They need it right now. They can't wait years down the road. And at the same time, I'm pouring money in to make sure we don't allow our seniors to be victims of evictions. We are back in Sacramento trying to carve out an exception to the Ellis Act eviction. We need everybody's help doing that. We, with Supervisor Kim and the other Board of Supervisors, we will find land. You know, I'm getting more and more excited as people come and tell me, I got this land that it's underutilized. Let's grab it. Let's do something. Let's get our stabilization funds into action to buy down these rent-controlled units so that they don't become the playland for speculators. All of this has to be done together. We can only do it if we have a collaborative government that listens carefully to our citizens' demands and that we take it personally responsible to act on them. I will continue doing that. As long as I'm mayor, I will continue doing that even beyond age 62. Hopefully, we can have more of these sites made, and I've already been identifying sites that we can get our hands on. In fact, I shocked one of our local churches because I was driving by Ocean Avenue I said, that's a huge parking lot that church has. I just called them up and said, what else are you doing besides this parking lot? And they gulped. You can hear the gulp across the telephone line. Said, you're calling me about, wow, I've got to go to the board and talk about this. But every site should be considered because we have a housing crisis. But we also have beautiful people like Vera Haile, who in the times of crisis, she stepped up. She's delivered time and time again. So has the agency she's had. And so with that, I take great privilege in today declaring this to be Vera Haile Senior Housing Day in San Francisco. We have Doug and Barry, sisters.
It's your first paparazzi.
It's great, you're famous.
Thank you. Thank you. And yes, you did talk about you lots at the kitchen.
Oh, thank you.
Greatly appreciate both the sentiments today, but also everything you're doing to make a difference on this really, really vital issue. So the mayor sort of began the thanks. I'm going to time the gong here. Bob, I want you to know I was just about to say something nice about you, but now that the gong has gone off, I don't know if I can. I often wait till the end of these programs to say stuff about the team that built these buildings and designed it. So for once, I'm going to reverse order. Bob and Mike Nibby are here, are excellent general contractors that have really spearheaded this job. They did a phenomenal job on both the dining room and the larger building and do great work everywhere in the city. We're working with Nibby Brothers on a bunch of public housing renovation projects that the mayor referenced, and are just really pleased with the work that we're doing together. I want to thank both Bob and Mike, but also Phil Raymond, John Davis, and Valerie Adler, who've been really critical to the project. The architects from HKIT have done a lot of wonderful affordable housing work, some of which we've been lucky enough to partner with them on. And I've got a long list of folks, so I'm going to go through it. Dan Kallenbach, Paul McElwee, Christoph, Laverne, Melissa Reagan, Sonia Mark, Rich Caldwell, and Jason Sheriff. So thank you so much for the folks from HKIT. And then I just want to take 1 second. There are many people here with a connection to Mercy Housing. I just want to ask for a moment, if you're on the staff or board of Mercy Housing, if you could just raise your hand, and so we could thank you for the fine work that you do, including our new board of advisor members. Okay. Now we're 50% through. So then it's my pleasure to bring up a Mercy alum who is really one of our finest partners from City Community Capital, and another incredible partner for us over the years, Christine Carr from Silicon Valley Bank. The two of them really partnered up to be our lenders on this deal. You are in really good hands with the two of these folks, and we want to thank them for the work that they did. This was a complicated project. It's not one that you pick your lender lightly on. You really choose carefully on a deal like this. And so I want to bring up Merle and Christine to thank them for their work.
Thanks, Doug. Hi, Christine. This is a great day. Mercy, you know, they're good, but they're tough. And they said they're about to sign our loan, term sheet, and they said, but if you're invited to speak, you've got to be brief. So that was the deal. But of course, fast forward to ribbon cutting day, and they say, we'd like you to speak, and remember that commitment to be brief? We want you to be brief in half. So this is for you, Mercy. And I just have, before I turn it over to my partner, that's really, I think, maybe a theme for the day is what good can come by partnering and working together with dedication and commitment and skill and expertise. Just two quick thanks and one well wish. The quick thanks are these. We represent the construction lender. I represent the construction lender city with participation from Silicon Valley Bank. I think our construction loan is about $22 million, soon to be repaid by HUD. Thank you very much. And NEF. And so especially focused on the construction issues, and you couldn't have had a better team, right? This building is beautiful. You feel it as you approach it. You feel it in the space. And so I just want to acknowledge that and add my appreciation to Doug's, to the architectural firm of HKIT. So they designed it, and Nibby Brothers built it. And this is a tight site, and they've got a deep foundation. And I was scared to bejesus about this. No news is good news. This was smooth as could be, and Nibby Brothers, thank you so very much for that. And lastly, the point person, the captain of the team, is Mercy Housing as a development, and they've got somebody who knows how to crack the whip, and that's the project manager extraordinaire, Sharon Christensen, and I want to give my special thanks to Sharon. And now, before I turn it over to Christine, I just would like to say to the new residents who are fortunate enough to make Vera Haile Senior Community their new place of residence, welcome home.
Thank you, Merrill. I think I can speak for Merrill and say this is one of the best days of our job when we come to an opening of a project like this, because it takes years for a project like this to come together, not just to come together, but then of course to get built. So it took years for it to get all the financing together and the HUD 202 grant and et cetera, and then the 2 years of construction that it takes. So it's all you good people, all you wonderful people in this room that make a project like this happen. And so I want to thank you, along with my staff, that made it all possible. And at Silicon Valley Bank, we have a tagline, one of our taglines, and in addition to the $20 million each that we put into the project, both in debt and equity with NEF, and then NEF syndicated the equity further, which we are both still participants in the equity in the project. So we together combined put in about $40 million, plus Silicon Valley Bank got about a $900,000 Federal Home Loan Bank Affordable Housing Program grant for the project. But we have a tagline, and one of our many taglines, but it's the one I like best, which is nothing we'd rather be doing. And I think that says it all. Nothing we'd rather be doing than partnering with Mercy Housing on a project like this. Thank you.
So from City Community Capital, we also want to thank Raymond Lee and Ron Mitnick, and from Silicon Valley Bank, Serena Calloway and Fiona Sue. So thank you for everything from the bank side. As Christine mentioned, another important partner on this project was the National Equity Fund and Bay Area LISC, Local Initiative Support Corporation. They'll be speaking together. For those of you that have been to other events of ours, you've seen Todd many times. He's often our equity investor. Very sophisticated understanding, a real favorite of Mercy's because he's able to work with complicated projects, again, in a way that makes them seem simple. Peggy Jen, who many of you know, has been a real stalwart in the affordable housing world in the Bay Area over the years, and they provided an important grant to help us attain the LEED Silver designation for this. So with that, Todd and Peggy.
Good afternoon, everybody. Let me first start by introducing my friend and colleague, Peggy Jen. So Peggy is with the Bay Area LISC. They are National Equity Fund's parent corporation. So I have to be nice to Peggy all the time. So she generally told me to come up here and say a few words. So what LISC does is they provide a lot of pre-development financing for developers that are out there doing a lot of the hard work. She's typically the first money into a deal and the last money out. So thank you, Peggy, and I certainly appreciate it. And as you kind of heard from Silicon Valley Bank, Christine Carr, these are complicated projects, and I couldn't do it. Doug made it sound pretty good, but I really am only as good as the team that I'm with, and this team is fantastic. Sharon, Barbara, Jennifer, they are three tough negotiators with Mercy, and I was surprised that they even let me have my shirt at the end of the day, but it's well worth it. We're honored and privileged to be part of this. This project is a little special for us, too, because it has a number of investors. So Silicon Valley Bank, Citibank, but let me just mention a few others. Wells Fargo, Bank of the West, Capital One, City National. They're all investors in this project. They all gave us money to invest in this project. So from my perspective, this is special. Thank you, and we appreciate it.
So Supervisor Kim was just mentioning to me, and I think it's just a great point, which is that there are so many seniors that have lived in this community, have been part of this community, are now living in this home in this community that have really been the advocates for change. I think Supervisor mentioned the incredible advocacy around really changing the dynamic around corner liquor delis, or that's what we call them in Jersey, liquor delis. I mean, we can call them whatever you want, but that's what they are. And all the other really wonderful things that happen. And it really, Mercy's in a very enviable position in the sense that we come in and we get to do the somewhat glamorous work of developing these properties, but there's so much work that comes before. So in addition to St. Anthony's, I do want to just thank some of the community partners that have been here so many more years than us, will continue to be here for the long run, and do such great work. Lutheran Social Services, the wonderful brothers at St. Boniface, DeMarillac Academy, the Alliance for Better District 6, Curry Senior Center, Tenderloin Futures Collaborative, and the North and Market Community Benefit District. So a thanks to everybody who's done all the work that helped us get here today. Okay, and with that, I would like to bring up Diana and Laura to say a few words about their mom.
So last time we were here, it was at the groundbreaking, and I have wonderful pictures of our mom with the golden shovel, and she made her trek down the hill into what I guess is now the foundation of the building. But that's I'm really glad that we have that memory of her and those pictures of her. Thank you for naming this building after our mom. It really is a fantastic culmination of her work and her dedication. This building embodies so much of what she worked for and what she fought for. And then inside this building are the residents and the people, the residents, the seniors. That's who she worked for. That's who she cared about. And we told the story at her memorial too. On her way to intensive care during the last few days of her life, the one thing she had to take was the list of potential residents. She had there's a long list, a printout of the lottery, I guess, all the people that applied. And she just wanted to study the list, just wanted to review it, because, like I said, the people are what mattered the most to her. She always encouraged us to volunteer. So as a teacher, I brought some of my 5th graders down to St. Anthony's and did some community service and Glide Memorial. And I just really appreciate having this place to come to continue to serve, to bring Evan to serve and volunteer, and connect with his grandma in this building. And really, I just want to say that this is truly, we believe, the perfect way to memorialize Vera, and it's better than any gravestone. Thank you.
Thank you.
I always get weepy at some point. That was the first. Okay. Well, so I think those were really wonderful words. I think all of us appreciate what Vera did, and it is just a wonderful feeling in the room to have this many people who cared about her, and to have this big an impact symbolized in one place. But I think there's just so many people in this neighborhood whose work was influenced or driven or started by Vera, and so it's just a wonderful opportunity to be here today with so many people who share that experience. I want to bring up Ms. Jackie Robinson, who is a new resident here. I think her son Prince is here with her, to just say a few words. Ms. Robinson is really quite an unbelievable woman. She had somehow managed to raise 14 children, and she's here today after a tough time on the street.
Hello, everyone. I'm a resident here at Vera Haile Senior Housing, and I would like to thank Mercy Housing for giving me an affordable place to live. Wonderful place. Thank you. And especially thanks for Vera Haile. 'Cause, 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 'cause
All right. Thank you very much, Jackie. And so just by way of closure, after this, we're going to have a brief ribbon cutting for some of the folks out on the, I think out here, right, Barbara? I believe so. For all the speakers out on the deck, there are going to be tours. There's also a little bit of buffet lunch outside, so we hope you'll stick around and talk to other folks. I'm just scanning this to make sure that I'm sure I forgot someone, and I'm just going to have to live with the fact that I'm sure I forgot someone. So I want to, Karen Joe and Therese Varney and Marissa Casares and David Yuen are the staff that are going to be running this building for Mercy and going to be doing a wonderful job. Marissa grew up in this neighborhood and has returned to work here. The Mercy staff that are operating this building are really just incredibly dedicated to what we do, and I know we're going to be incredible stewards of this. And for the residents that have moved in, I'm just so happy that this opportunity is here for you. I hope you'll share your stories with us. It's really the engine that keeps us going. And with that, I just want to thank everyone for your time and to keep yourself part of the movement that Vera represents and that hopefully Mercy and St. Anthony's and the rest of us are good stewards of. So thank you and have a great day. Okay. I got your back.
My back. That's good.
We got a baby. We have a resident.
Hold on. Wait.
We have a sharp object by.
A little closer.
I'm going to get in trouble for this. Ready?
Possibly.
Want me to move it away? No. All right. 1, 2, 3. All right. Our so-called knife. All right. This is really not.
That's what
All right.